Hi everyone. So I was setting up the environment for the development of the upcoming lessons. So I thought it would be great to record the step just for the reference if you are interested to setting up the cloud-based networking environment or infrastructure environment for your work, because that really help us to work in the cloud-based environment without depending a lot on the infrastructure team, right? And we're gonna gain the concept or the benefits that cloud environments are providing to us. And one of the major benefit, like you can set up your own network in the cloud environment, which is called the virtual private network. So VPCs, we generally call it VPCs, and VPCs allow you to build the same environment like you have in your on-premises infrastructures, right? The only thing they obviously gonna host on the AWS infrastructure, which is a very, I would say, a normal case once we move from on-premises to the cloud environment. The only thing you just need to make sure, do you have any compliance reason where you need to make sure all your VPCs or your virtual machines, they're gonna be sitting within the borders. Like in Australia, you cannot allow your data to cross the borders until unless you have the legitimate permission from the organization. So these sort of thing you need to make sure, right? So because it's a demo environment, so I'm not concerned. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create my first virtual private cloud environment, which allow me to build the networks, and I'm gonna show you step by step how you can do it at your end. Right, very powerful concept. You can build your own machines, and then you can let these machines talk to each other. Previously you need to engage a lot of people to do that, but now imagine you can do it all by yourself. And at the end we can even convert it into script or code, so we can save it in our repo, and we can rerun as much as we want, just to create as many networks within, with small changes. And instead of working in days, imagine you previously building a network is not the easy job. We need to bring the hardware, we need to connect the devices together, we need to make sure ports are working and the cabling is right. But now it's just now it's just the clicking of couple of options, providing some values, and your network is going to be set it up. And I'm going to show you in this video. So let's start with the AWS console. So you're gonna see we are in our let me start from this scratch. So we are on our management console. You can see we are in here, and I just need to go and search VPC. If you are unable to see on your recently visited, and you can see we see isolated cloud resources. So let's hit VPCs. All right, so I'm gonna stick with the North Virginia, US East one. That's where I will leave it as a default. I'm fine with the work that I'm going to produce. I don't have any sensitive data. All right, so let me hit VPC, your VPCs, and you can see with every account we're gonna have one default VPC available that you can use, and you can see it's the IP4 CIDR notation, and that is more like the CIDR allow you to create the network IP address layout, and itself is a full planning task that you have to do. Depends upon what kind of network you are going to design, but in this video we're gonna keep things simple. I'll use the 10.0.0. If you need, I can record a separate video to just show you what these 172.10.192 means, how the CIDR notation works from the networking perspective. But because we are just preparing it from the dev environment, so at this stage I think we are comfortable in not doing anything towards the networks, right? We're just building the network. Deep down we'll see later. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I can there's a create VPC option in here, which I can hit, and it will ask us, okay, VPC only, and you want to do VPC and more? No, I'm just comfortably creating the VPC. I don't need any further action. So let's call it development, right? So because I'm going to use it for my development, and yeah, I'm going to use it 10.0.0/24. Just quickly, our IP address has 4 parts, and each part actually contain 8 bits. So our general IP4 address contains 32 bits. However, our IP6 address contains 64 bits, right? So IP4 address we generally use mostly in our organizational local network. If you have really big network which is now crossing the limit of the IP4, then you will obviously move towards the IP6, right? Now this /24 is the indicator that, okay, how many bits we're gonna use for the host and how many bits we're gonna use for the networks, right? So what does it means that we are going to use first 24 bits. So that means for 3 parts after the dot, they're gonna be used as a network, and then obviously we have the last 8 bit which will be used as a host, right? So that's the whole concept, right? We can even change it to 16. Let's do it with 16, right? We're gonna put a standard balance between the host and networks, right? So the first 16 bits are going to be used for network. Like imagine you can create, I would say, so 16, 8, 8 and 8. I think it's gonna be, let me think of 10.1. Yes, it's going to be 65,535 networks you can create, and each network is going to host another 65,535 hosts in each network, right? So that's pretty big range. Generally, we don't need it, but just to give you the concept, right? All right, so we don't need IP6 at this stage, but we can do if I want to. Tenancy is going to be default. I'm not going to use the dedicated. Obviously, it costs more because then if the dedicated, we know the AWS is going to allocate dedicated hardware, and over there our resource is gonna stay. Right now, I'm obviously using the sharing, and you can just get the help, right? You can say it's like that one. So launch in this VPC, the tenancy attribute specify. Ensure that in the VPC are run on dedicated tenancy instance, regardless of the tenancy attribute specified at the launch, right? So dedicate obviously provide more security and I would say less risk, but obviously it's more costly. All right. So in the tag, I've already have the name. It's picked up the name automatically as a tag. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add just one more tag just from the information. I'm going to call it type, and type is going to be tag/test because I'm going to use it for both purposes, right? And that's it. So you just need to define your IP scheme and then give it a name. Just mention whether you're going to use IP4 and IP6 or only IP4, and that's pretty much it. And also the tenancy, whether you're going to use the default or the dedicated. Let me hit next, and you can see it has created the VPC for us, right? There's a small failure. I think it's more like the permission. I can see that I don't have permission, so I'll fix that permission because right now we are not concerned about the route 53, but I'll fix it later. Right, but even what I can do, let me just fix it, and then we will see if we can continue without these errors, because they sometimes create troubles, right? But before I go and fix that, if I can show you, you can see we have the CIDR, which is 10.0.0/16 is associated. Flow logs, I'm gonna talk about flow logs, especially from the security perspective. Flow log is really important concept, especially for the security of your VPC, right? And we have the tag which we define name and type, and later on we can use this tag to just filter our costs, right? So that's a very high level view of how you can create the VPC in your Amazon, and you can see how easy it is to just create a network. Literally, you have now the blank layout of your network available. Now we're gonna obviously build the further components as part of this infrastructure that we have just laid down in couple of minutes, right? So feel free to put any question if you have. Otherwise, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next steps.